On September 30, 1938, British Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain left the negotiating table at a conference in Munich, Germany. He had spent previous several months negotiating a non-aggression pact with German Chancellor Adolf, Hitler-Italian dictator Benito Mussolini that would allow Germany to complete its conquest of the disputed territories in Sudetenland and invade Czechoslovakia without objection from Britain-France. In return, Hitler agreed to no further attacks on the European continent and to protect Britain from further conflict. Chamberlain was proud that he had kept his country out of the war. In an impromptu speech outside 10 Downing Street in London, Chamberlain raised the signed agreement above his head and declared that he had brought peace with honor. I believe this is peace for our time. When Winston Churchill, who would replace Chamberlain as Britain's wartime leader within 2 years, heard this statement, he sarcastically said, "You have been offered a choice between war and dishonor. You have chosen dishonor, and you will fight." About a year later, Hitler expanded his influence into Czechoslovakia and invaded Poland. William Tecumseh Sherman once bluntly said, "War is hell." But as University of Chicago social scientist Chris Blattman shows in his excellent book Why We War, war is rare and costly. In most cases, countries' parties avoid conflict because the costs to both parties are high enough that bargaining and agreement are preferable to violence disaster. What's the point of occupying a region that is shattered beyond repair? Economics and game theory teach us that the best type of national security policy is deterrence. Credible signals of strength and determination will force the belligerent actor to reconsider a possible invasion or make a quick decision if combat operations have begun. However, reliability must be costly for the signal giver. If I perceive that my opponent will not follow through on his threats, I can ignore the warnings as pure noise and advance my intent. As leader free world, it should be policy of government United States state our intentions clearly, without any room for doubt, and signal that we are dead serious about what we will be willing sacrifice, even at great cost, protect our interests abroad. The ancient Romans understood this principle. This was a clear, convincing and deterrent signal in the ancient Mediterranean. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or NATO, is a clear example of these ideals. Western European allies and United States formed NATO out of a desire to send a convincing signal to their former ally, USSR, that aggression from East would not be tolerated. As was case before World War II, this signal is so strong that NATO has invoked Article 5 only once after the September 11 terrorist attacks in 2001. Evgeniy Maloletka, Associated Press. In his book, Blattman points out that conflicts will not resolve themselves if the gains are not divided. It is not possible